Hi math class, we're starting our last unit today, sinusoidal functions. That just means there's going to be some sine and cosine involved. Before we get into those functions, I want to talk about radians. I know you've heard of them, they probably annoy you on your calculator, but we're actually going to use them here. So a circle has 360 degrees, but you can also say it has 2 pi radians. Okay, so radians are a type of angle. Check it out, I'll show you how to convert. 2 pi radians equals 360 degrees because they both represent a circle. Dividing by 2, I say pi radians equals 180 degrees. So here's how you can convert. Pi divided by 180 equals 1 degree. 180 divided by pi equals 1 radian. Okay, so I'll show you. To convert from degrees to radians, you multiply by pi over 180. To convert from radians to degrees, we multiply by 180 over pi. That's going to be super useful. So let's do it. I got a couple of examples here. I want us to convert from radians to degrees. Okay, so let me remind you. Radians to degrees, we multiply by 180 over pi. You could just totally put this completely into your calculator right away and you get the right answer, but I just want to show you it's pretty simple. The pi's cancel. We're going to get 180 over 4. Okay, that's going to be 45 degrees. Cool. 3 pi over 2 radians. Finding degrees, you multiply 180 over pi. Those pi's cancel. And you get 3 times 180 over 2. Okay, that's going to be 270 degrees. This last one, check it out, just 5.1, which looks a lot different from our other examples, but we're going to do the same thing. However, pi's don't cancel, so I am actually just going to use my calculator here. I'm going to do 5.1 times 180 divided by pi, and just take a few decimal places. Let's call that 292 degrees. No need for decimals there. Okay, so that's going radians to degrees. Let's now do degrees to radians. So my cheat sheet here, going from degrees to radians, I multiply by pi over 180. Now here's where I really recommend you do it by hand, not on your calculator, okay? Because a lot of times you're going to want pi in your answer. So let me write it like this, 30 over 180 times pi. Okay, this in lowest terms, you can divide top and bottom by 30. If we cover a 0, maybe it looks better, 3 over 18. That's going to be 1 over 6. 1 over 6 times pi is just pi over 6. Okay, so 30 degrees is equal to pi over 6 radians. All right, let's do another one. 120 degrees, I'm going to do pi over 180. Same process. I'm going to put the numbers in front of pi. Okay, 120 over 80, 120 over 180 be 12 over 18. That's going to simplify to 2 over 3. So I'm going to write this as 2 pi over 3. Okay, it's nice. Last one here, 70 degrees. I'm going to do that times pi over 180. Now I get 70 over 180 times pi. This one's not going to be so nice. Okay, if I divide by 10, I get 7 over 18. That can't be simplified, so I'm just going to leave it as 7 pi over 18. If you don't get a nice fraction, like I don't think this is a particularly nice fraction, it's certainly not as nice as the previous two, go ahead and calculate that if you want. So that's just going to equal 1.22 radians. Okay, so either of these are correct. If it's a nice fraction, I would prefer just leave it like this. I don't need to see decimals. Okay. Now, what we were just doing was converting. When you're converting, it doesn't matter what mode your calculator's in. Okay, and by that I mean when you press mode, down here it says radians degrees. Okay, you've probably been annoyed by that too, right? When you clear your calculator, it's in radians, but you almost always want it in degrees. We're going to use radians a little bit. Okay, so it matters what mode you're in when you're calculating sine, cos, or tan. Okay, so when you're doing one of these, you just got to look at what the angle is expressed as. This is sine 30 degrees. So I need to be in degrees, and I am, so that's good. I just have to hit sine 30. Okay, 0.5. This one, cos 60 degrees. Well, I know I'm in degrees. It's also 0.5. Okay, check out this next one. Sine of pi by 3. Pi is pretty much a dead giveaway that you're in radians. So I'm going to have to switch this to radians. So we can hit mode, just scroll down to radians, press enter. Now I'm in radians. So I'm going to just write it like that. Sine pi divided by 3. That's how I write that. Okay, and I get 0.866. Check out this last one. Sine 4.8. Okay, well, is that radians or degrees? Because there's no pi in there. But here's the deal. I am going to write degrees when I mean degrees. It's really important in this unit, so I'm going to make sure I'm really good at it. So when you see degrees, use degrees. When you don't see degrees, use radians. So I am in radians. I just have to do sine 4.8. And I get negative 0.996. That's fine. Nothing wrong with a negative answer.